Alright, so this is going to be a lesson on a John Fahey song. This one's Buck Dancer's Choice. The tuning for the song is standard tuning, except you'll just capo up to the 2nd fret. I'll go through an abridged version of the song just to give a taste of what the song's like. Okay, so start out with just this first section that goes like this. And as you'll kind of notice, it's really pretty straightforward as far as the chords and the melody go. There are just a couple nuances that he does do, but it starts out with this C chord. And you've got an alternating bass on the 5th and 4th strings. And then on the treble side, you'll hit the 2nd string open into the 1st fret. And then, so you'll notice with the alternating bass, it's a pinch, and then you play that treble note separately, and then alternating bass. And then you've got the open top string, back to the 1st fret of the 2nd string. You'll notice the only pinch is at the start. Got this F chord, except rather than an F chord like this, like a more full F chord, he kind of keeps it a little bit delicate and only plays the middle 5 strings, middle 4 strings. It's the open 5th string, 3rd fret of the 4th string, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 1st fret of the 2nd string. And he'll play the open 3rd string, hammering into the 2nd fret, and as that hammer-on gets hit, he hits that bass note on the 5th string. Just practice that, coinciding the notes. So you got that so far? Remember, think about the common notes between chords. So with this C chord, the common note is this 1st fret of the 2nd string. So you don't even have to lift that between the transition. Fortunately, then these two strings are very similar. So that should help with the transition. And then you hit the first fret of that second string. After that hammer-on the F chord, that coinciding hammer-on, alternating bass, and then you pinch the third string on the C chord, going back to the C chord, alongside the fifth string bass note. And you've got this. So here, it's just a C chord, and you'll just go second string, third string. You can loop that as well. And then you've got this G chord, third fret of the bottom string, second fret of the fifth string, third fret of the second string. So after that C, you can hit that G chord and start it with a sweep on that second string, then land into the bass note on the third fret of the bottom string, and then hit the fifth string, second fret, back to the C chord, first string, second string, and then third fret of the top string. So that's the kind of the first half of the first section. And then you've got the second half of that first section. So it starts out the same. C chord, F chord. Except rather than going to this G, the C to the G, rather than that, it goes, just finishes by going back to the F chord. So it goes to that F chord. You got that coinciding note where the third string hammers into the second fret at the same time you hit the fifth string. Then you hit the second string, alternating bass, and then open second string to the third string. And then you got this G chord, open third string, pinch the third fret of the sixth and second strings. Remember this G chord shape. Second fret of the fifth, third fret of the bottom, third fret of the second. So you go third string open as a pickup into a pinch second and sixth strings, top string, sweep, alternating bass on the fifth string, and then end on the C chord. And that's really that whole first section. F, C, G. Second half starts out the same, F, goes back to the F, and that's really that first section. And oh my gosh. I should really mention that there's this really important part that kind of defines that whole first section that I forgot to talk about. For both the first and second halves, he actually initially gets into the F chord like this. I totally forgot. That's really a key part of the whole thing. When I was mentioning nuances, I totally forgot to mention this. It's the 5th string open, so you're hitting that F chord. Hit the 5th string open, 3rd string, and 2nd string. Broken. And then the alternating bass on the 4th string. And that's how you get that kind of cool rhythm that he's got. So first half, and then you go C, G, C, and then second half as well. So that's really important. Now it gets into this section. Really similar. And actually a bit easier. And this shouldn't take as long because it kind of recycles some parts, but it starts out with this C chord. And it just does a couple pinches on the 2nd and 3rd strings. Only using the middle 4 strings again, he plays this E7 chord, 2nd fret of the 5th string, open 4th, 1st fret of the 3rd string, open 2nd string, and he does the same fingering where he goes 5th string, 4th string on the bass side, and he just pinches those 2nd and 3rd strings. Then he goes to the F chord, and that F chord again, 3rd fret of the 4th string, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 1st fret of the 2nd string, 5th string open. You can pinch the 5th and 3rd strings, 2nd string, alternating bass, and then back to the C chord, hitting the 3rd string open. So E7, E7, and then it just ends the first half the same way as before, and then it just does the second half, and then it finishes off with that familiar F finishing. And that's really the second part. Alright, so you got the first part. Second part. Now, there's this part which is probably the harder part of the whole song. Now, this these strings, as you can hear. Except I'll go through it in a way that hopefully uncomplicates it. So first, go through the fact that there are 3 primary chords in this section. You got chord 1, chord 2, chord 3, back to chord 2, back to chord 1, back to chord 2, and repeat. Or I'll go through that again. And then goes back to chord 3, except just plays it a little bit differently. Back to chord 1, 2, 3, back to 2, and then plays this. So chord 1 is 3rd fret of the bottom string, 3rd fret of the 5th string. And 4th and 3rd strings open. So just remember that chord shape. And I fret it with my pinky and ring finger. And then here, it's an E7 chord shape. 2nd fret of the 5th string, open 6th string, open 4th string, 1st fret of the 3rd string. That's chord 2. Chord 3, stuttering. Bottom string, open, 3rd fret of the 5th string, 2nd fret of the 4th and 3rd strings. So you got chord 1, 2, and 3. Note how I'm fingering them. Maybe you can do it the same way, it might be easier. E7 with just these 2 fingers. That first chord was just these 2. And then on this 3rd chord, I go bar with the middle finger on the 2nd frets of the 3rd and 4th strings. Ring finger on the 5th string, 3rd fret. I find that's a way where I don't have to move my hand at all. It just stays in the same spot. But do whatever works for you. And so the bass line here occurs on the 6th and 5th strings. So try playing those chords just with the bass line. And so it'll be. Just try going through them. I guess I can't do it. Now, just try playing a pinch on the 4th string. Just try doing that. It's kind of like a pinch followed by a little bit of like an echo pinch. Bass note plus the pinch, echo, alternating bass. Now try doing it so that it's a little bit, so that you play pickups into it. Where you kind of go into it. And then do it the same with the E7. You can just loop this. Chord 1. Pick up, land. Just using the 4th string open to land into the 3rd string. not playing the alternating bass. Same thing on the E7 chord. Now the same thing with this chord number 3. And guess what? That's actually what the whole thing is. It's just a pickup. Except when he does this thing, bar the second frets of those 4th and 3rd strings, open 5th string, open bottom string, and you kind of roll through the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings, and then 6th, 4th, and 3rd strings. And then roll, repeat, and then he goes like this. I find this a little bit awkward, but at the same time it's not really. It's 1st fret of the bottom string, 3rd fret of the 5th and 4th strings, so you got that power chord, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then it's similar kind of roll, using this chord shape, bottom 4 strings, 6th string, 4th string, 3rd string, 5th string, 4th string, 3rd string, back to the 6th string. Then you move it up 2 frets, everything, and play the same thing. Again, you can loop that. And I find to practice these sections, I'll just kind of loop these for like a long time. And this is still on that hard section, so it's almost over. So you got this. Repeats it again. Redundant. And then you got this. And that's the whole 3rd section. And then he gets back into the 1st section. He goes into the 2nd section. And then he does eventually get to a different section where he does this. So, like before, it starts out with the C chord, kind of like the 1st section, except now he'll add in the 3rd fret of the top string. So really on the melody, 1st fret of the 2nd string, open top string, back to the 2nd string, 3rd fret of that top string, he goes to the F chord. Except I think he does just play it on the top 4 strings, where he'll go 3rd fret of the 4th string, 2nd fret of the 3rd, 1st fret of the 2nd, open top string, so you get this nice, delicate kind of F major chord, alternating bass on the 4th and 3rd strings, which is okay because the melody only happens on the top 2 strings. Go top string open and actually add on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Open top string. Melody. Again, this is one of those that you can just kind of loop forever. So it starts out with that C chord. Back to the C. And again, these are just kind of like pick notes on the melody side that are just picking up into each other. Really, the melody note is just this. So you can start out with that even. And then just add on pickups. And that kind of gives it a little bit shape that you can try. So then the next chord is this G. Open 4th, open 3rd, 3rd fret of the 2nd string, 5th fret of the top string, alternating bass on the 4th and 3rd. See, it's just those. I kind of bar the top 2 strings 3rd fret, and then I'll just have this as a toggle on the 5th fret of the top string. And again, you can just loop this. Then he'll go bend on the 4th fret of the 2nd string, top string open, and then just kind of repeat it. F, back to the C, G, bend, repeat, off, and then he'll kind of end it like this, hammering into the 1st fret of that C chord, 2nd string, open top, stretch to the 4th fret of the 2nd string, retreat to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, back to the C chord. And that's really that other section. And so then those are the 4 sections of the song, and you can kind of amalgamate them all together to get the full song. So hopefully that helps with Buck Dancer's Choice by John Fahey.